And we are live. Welcome back to the Manc Entrepreneur YouTube channel and to Friday, the 9th of June. And we wake up this morning to the general election news that obviously nobody really won, or nobody really got the majority vote. 650 seats in Parliament, you need 326 to have the majority for one party, and nobody really managed to make that happen, which is, not the first time this happened a few years ago. And David Cameron had to set up a coalition with Nick Clegg, the Liberal Dems, in order to, form a majority parliament. I think the big thing which we can sort of take from this is, it's, again, I'm going to talk about politics very quickly, and then I'm going to talk about how we sort of react to this. And so far, well, basically, Theresa May, this can't be seen as a win for Theresa May. She's lost her majority in the House of Commons, which is basically, she took a gamble. She rolled the dice, thought that for some reason she could increase her majority, a bit like Margaret Thatcher did a few years ago, and enjoy more of a sort of mandate from the people to get things done. That has totally not happened, largely due to Jeremy Corbyn and Labour having a fantastic campaign, cannot be denied. They've managed to win around a lot of people. And this is from a candidate, Jeremy Corbyn, who faced sort of, a vote of no confidence twice in his own party and managed to survive. And he seems to have won people round, and yeah, he's taken a lot of that chunk of the majority away from Theresa May, which, like I said, it shows right now that we have a divided country once again. When we look at, Brexit and the Remain vote and the Leave vote, it was 52 to 48%. And we have a very similar disparity on who we should have as the leading party. Conservatives, it's one of those, you watch the news right now and you see Jeremy Corbyn clapping and waving and acting as if he's won, even though he lost. It's a strange day in terms of that. And Theresa May still won, but people are asking her to resign. Only in politics can this sort of thing really happen. So we look at, what's going on, what the causes of that are. And again, I promise this is getting, in fact, let's put this on. It probably don't make any difference. Quite sunny today. But the main thing that we've seen here is voter turnout is a lot higher than I expected it to be. And I think that boils down to a few facts, mainly that the young voters have actually come out and voted. Brexit turnout was up in the 70%. I think it was 72% of eligible voters came out and voted. That is incredible. A few years prior to that, a general election, you'd be looking at between 20 and 30%. So if one thing Brexit has done, seems to have given the young people especially the taste for voting and the taste for elections, which can only be a good thing. And they are now getting their voices heard, and that is probably where Labour's vast majority of support has come from, because Labour's policies were very much pro-young people. What happens now? Well, we've got a hung parliament, which basically means nothing much happens. If I was to make a prediction, and my predictions don't mean a lot right now, because friends were texting me last night asking me what they thought was going to happen. I thought Conservatives would have a slight majority. Turns out we've got a hung parliament. So, my predictions don't really mean a great deal. But if I had to guess, Conservatives would make a coalition with the DUP, the Democratic Unionist Party from Northern Ireland. And that would give them, potentially right now, we're still waiting on some votes to come in. It would potentially give them a majority. If not, they'd be very close to one. Labour, I don't think, could get any. They'd have to run a minority government, which nothing would ever get done. Nothing would get done. The Conservatives would block everything, and I think the realistic thing here is Theresa May whether she resigns or not, she's probably not going to be the party leader for too much longer. Someone else is going to step up, might be Boris, and there potentially could be another general election around October time. That is what I think will happen, because right now nothing is going to get done. Markets will have dropped. Pound has already dropped because they don't like uncertainty, and right now it's very uncertain what's going on. Right, that's that out the way. How do we react, and what does this mean? It means nothing. It genuinely means nothing. If you went to bed, 2 nights ago and woke up, and you went to bed last night and woke up, nothing has changed. Right now, no laws have changed, no, policies have changed, nothing has changed. And looking at this right now, nothing is likely to change. Jeremy, it's impossible for Corbyn right now to set up a majority coalition. Can't happen. Conservatives have too many seats. So, and Lib Dems have come out and said they're not doing a coalition with anyone. I guess they've learned the lesson from last time. So nothing has changed. But regardless of what result happened, this video today was always going to be the same. What now? We carry on as normal. You carry on as normal, because as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, what we do best is react. We react to what happens. And ultimately, that's what we continue to do. If Jeremy Corbyn had managed to swing a majority, win, great, we have a Labour government, and, we probably pay more tax. He'll sting small businesses. We'll have to pay more corporation tax and everything else. That doesn't mean that I'm going to, close the business down and go and do something else, go and train as a doctor. No, I'm going to carry on doing what I do, and I react to the new rules and laws and policies that come into play. It's the same with if Theresa May stayed in power. Nothing actually changes, but any of her policies which may affect taxation and running of businesses, I react. It's just the same. While everybody else has been focused on this election and what it means and getting involved in Facebook arguments and everything else, I've just been here working, and that isn't going to change. Like this morning, I'm going to go about my working day as normal. I've just launched a new course. I've got a big marketing email to send out. I've got a few business emails to deal with this morning. It's business as normal, and it was always going to be business as normal, because whilst I'm not going to say politics doesn't matter, it genuinely does matter, but how it affects our day-to-day lives has been way overplayed over this campaigning. People have been getting so, it's great to see, it genuinely is, and Facebook and Twitter full of people who genuinely seem to care. That's great that you're now taking an active interest in politics. From someone, like I said, who has a degree in history and politics, it's fantastic to see. I was one of a very small minority when I did my degree who actually cared as a young person about politics. We thought it was an old person's game. And looking at Theresa May and Jeremy Corbyn, you pretty much assume that it still is. But the day-to-day running of your life is no different. You still have a lot of control over how you live your life. You still have a lot of, direction that you give yourself about the things you do, the decisions you make. We're very lucky not to live in some sort of dictatorship like North Korea, where, we take for granted the things that we can and cannot do. So the day-to-day life, nothing changes, and it was never going to change. I urge you, as an entrepreneur, as a young entrepreneur, as a business person, whatever it is, to just go about your life as normal, and all this politics stuff will sort itself out in the background. And yes, there'll probably be another general election in a few months' time, because right now nobody has a solid mandate to go forward. So how do we react? What does it mean? It means we carry on as normal, and we live our life, and we do exactly what we want to do, and we go and achieve what we want to achieve. Some person who lives in a house with a number 10 on it is not going to stop me from doing what I want to do or achieving what I want to achieve in business or in entrepreneurship or anything else. And I urge you to do the same. That right now is a distraction. Your energy, time, and effort is much better spent on building whatever it is that you want to achieve. So I hope you've enjoyed this this episode. It's my first real sort of live public episode. It's Friday, so enjoy the rest of your day, whatever it is that you're doing. Work hard. Ignore the politics. I'm sure there's lots of conversations and stuff going on about it. Just crack on with whatever it is that you're doing. That's what I'm going to do, and that's what I was always going to do, no matter what the result was today. With that said, enjoy the rest of your day. Have a fantastic weekend. I'll be here with you back on Monday for another Mondays Don't Suck episode. If you've enjoyed this live video, hit that like button and subscribe if you are new. With that said, and let me know down below what you think of the result. Do you disagree? Do you think this is terrible and blah, blah, blah? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. And yeah, if you're worried, again, I wouldn't worry. Life goes on. Nothing has ended. Well, there's nothing more to say. Have a fantastic day. I'm about to crack on with work. I've got lots to do. You should do the same. So with that said, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. See you then.